Hello, everybody. Let's just verify that I have audio working first. Hello, everybody. Looks like we got 8 people right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Please feel free to let me know that my audio is working properly. Exciting stuff. We're making waterfalls today. I'm excited with Fantasy Battle Maps. Waterfalls are so much easier than you think. Trust me. Hey, Anthony, I hope you can hear me. Let me know if there's anything wrong with my audio. Howdy, Joy. Howdy, Xander. Awesome. Hello, everybody. And it's working. Great. Hey, let me know if you pick up any weird noises or feedback. Okay, getting a new microphone soon. We'll hopefully get all of that removed. So I'm excited for new equipment. Yeah. Awesome. So it is working. Hello, I'm loud and clear. I am live. I am alive. Oh, super exciting. We're making waterfalls today with Fantasy Battle Maps, just to make sure everybody knows. I already made the landscape in already. It's pre-made. Now, if you want to go along with this video as we're putting waterfalls on this river, feel free to go into the description and click that link, clone and edit the map, and that way you can go along. If you have any questions, feel free to talk with Anthony. Anthony will be manning the chat today, so feel free to ask them any questions that you might have. I'm just going to wait one more minute for people to filter in, and we will get started. Awesome. I'm super excited about this. Hey, just some real quick announcements, though. You should go check out the announcements bell on the Inkarnate website, because we just added a whole bunch of new stuff within the last week or so. Go check that out. Valentine's art, new features, new tools, stuff like that. So go check that out. Super exciting. Okay, it is 10 a.m. PDT, and let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. So a little bit about the background. I used the land for the FG layer with the mask tool, and I used the river with the subtract mode of the mask tool, which is technically the BG layer, the background layer. So these are on separate layers. The reason why they're on separate layers is that I can paint my river separately from my land. This video will also be a little short today because we want to keep these short and sweet and straight to the point. So once you've kind of constructed your landscape and then you've carved out your river in your landscape, the one thing you'll want to do is to create some kind of suggestion of elevation. And that's what we've done here with these cliffs. We've created some elevation here, which would look kind of nice. So this kind of elevation is important because a waterfall is a drop, right? And it falls down. So you're going to want to create a landscape that suggests some kind of drop. And we've done that with a series of cascading cliffs here. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these paths just to let you know how I made it. So now once you've created your landscape, the next step is to pick a location where your waterfall is going to be. And this spot right here, I think looks good. We can even make a couple waterfalls. One can go here. One can go here, maybe even another one right here. So these are some nice locations for the waterfalls. I like these 3 spots. So we'll either make 1 or 2. Now, once you've done that, I'm going to go straight over to the catalog O key, open up the catalog F key, and just type in rock. Real quick, you can see the holiday special stamps here. I'll expand all so you can take a good look at them. They're really cool. I like this. And don't forget, it's not like this is the only style that has the Valentine's Day stamps. Go check out the other styles too. Fun stuff. So in the search field, type in rock, and you're going to have some nice large rocks that pop up. And these large rocks right here work really well to being your corner pieces or your end pieces where your waterfall is going to connect. This is normally how I make a waterfall. So I'm going to choose 2 rocks. I'm going to choose this one right here, and I want it also to kind of overlap into the river. So I place this down right here. I'm going to remove that shadow. I'm not going to worry about that. Get to that a little bit later. So here's that first rock. Now we need a rock parallel to that rock or adjacent to. Let me put another rock right here. Again, kind of want some of it to be going into the river. Okay, and now you have this nice spot where you can make your waterfall right here. Okay, so in between 2 rocks, that's where your waterfall is going to be. Next step, go back into that catalog and just type in water. And the waterfall stamp should just pop right up. In fact, I'm going to make it look a little more natural. Sometimes it looks a little weird just to have a straight line that's a waterfall going from here to here. It's nice to break it up and put maybe a smaller rock somewhere in the center or anywhere between the two rocks, we can go back and take a larger rock, maybe size it down, and maybe put it to the side. I wouldn't center it perfectly because there's not a lot of symmetry when it comes to things in nature like that. So instead, what I'll do is I'll probably put it over here a little bit to the left so it's not perfectly centered. And I want to also be mindful of what layer these rocks are on. These are on layer 1. You want the waterfall stamps we're about to look up to be a layer below that. So go back to that catalog, open it up, and you'll see waterfall. Now, if you don't like the black line work that comes with it, there are some things that you can do. What I like to do is go to my filters in the advanced settings. If you don't see it, you might have to mouse scroll wheel or just kind of make your screen bigger. But I like to bring the brightness all the way up and I bring the contrast all the way down. Now everything is perfectly white instead of having that black line work. And I'm going to create the first part of the waterfall right here and then make the second part over here like this. And you can make it not perfectly straight. Have it curved just a little bit. So it only took 3 pieces to make that part of the waterfall. Now once you've done that, that's where the waterfall is, where the fall is. You also want to create the illusion of momentum. A river is moving. How is it that we create movement? Okay, so like we want to show the direction or flow. How do we do that? One thing you can do is to use waves, and this works really well. Just type in wave, and there's some really nice waves right here. Now you'll notice there is some line work in here. So if you don't like that darker line work, you can just go right in, bring the brightness up, bring that contrast back up or back down all the way to 0, and now you have pure white. And what you're going to do from here is size them and rotate them accordingly to create this illusion that the water is flowing. And when you're right before a waterfall, the momentum is greatest. So you want to show the flow at its peak or its most concentration right before the fall. So that way it creates this illusion that the water is picking up speed as it falls. And you're going to also want to create ripples at the bottom. But first, let's create the momentum that we want before the fall. So take a series of waves, piece them together. I don't recommend making a long line or anything like that. You want to create more natural looking kind of flow. So we'll connect a couple. We'll put maybe a random one over here like this. And just scroll and rotate through. That's with that Alt key and just mouse scroll wheel and scroll through. Might even want to put some along here as well to make it look like it's going up against it, as you would expect. Even another one right here might look good. And let's create just a couple more. One going right here like this, and then one more over here. And let's flip rotate so that doesn't look exactly the same. I think this should be okay. So now you have some indication that there is momentum, movement before the fall. So the next step is to also create the point where the water comes, where the water falls and comes in contact with the body of water below. And you're going to expect some kind of ripples as the water ripples away from the fall. That is where the fall meets with the body of water. So create a couple of these. I recommend that you drop the opacity just a hair, okay? And then go ahead and place them down. So let's place a couple first to create that illusion that water is going away from the fall, as you would expect. So let's place a couple. One here, put one over here maybe. Let's put another longer one. We can go scroll through here, put a longer one over here maybe. Like here, and then maybe a couple more. Let's just put 2 more down. One more right here and another one over here, I think should be okay. All right, so now you have water rippling away from the fall, the contact point where the waterfall hits the body of water. So that creates this illusion of momentum or movement, as you would expect. Now it all looks kind of weird together like this. It kind of doesn't look right. So now you want to create white water, and that's like rapid. It's where the water catches more momentum. It's hitting up against things. And so that's called white water. And how is it that we make that? I'm going to use a texture, brush tool, B key, F key. And I have found personally that the snow alpha texture, it's under snow and ice textures, this works really well as kind of a white water, kind of rapid like texture. It's an alpha, so only white, there's nothing else. You can also change the size if you need to. Sometimes too big looks a little weird. Sometimes too small, it doesn't look right. So set it where you want it to be, wherever you want. Also drop the opacity. And I usually like to go around 40, drop that size down. Make sure you're set to that BG layer when you're doing it. If it's on the FG layer, it's going to pop up here. That's not going to work. So again, set to BG layer, which should be the 2 key. 1 key FG, 2 key BG. And I'm going to go ahead and just start first by putting a lot of that rapid just where the waterfall is first. So let's put a bunch here, put it around the rock, along here, and don't forget to put it below as well. And this is creating this rapid. Once you've done that, do another swoop. You want to have a much more of the of this snow texture to be more opaque near the waterfall part, and then also create a sense of movement by taking that texture and just putting it, follow along the line work of the waves, and then for yourself create some movement as well. Same thing down here, kind of create some movement. Already it's working okay. Let's also just go down here, create another one. There we go, nice. Okay, let's go to 100% or around there and put some nice bright white texture along here. There we go, this looks good. All right, so now you've kind of created that. So the next step is that right now we still haven't created this idea that there's depth, that the bottom part is lower than the top part. Okay, so when you're doing depth, contrast is how you do that. And contrast is just how bright or dark. So this water up here is brighter, and it's the same kind of color as this one, and that might not work well. So we used this texture right here, this water texture. Why don't we go ahead and change that texture? So let's go to placement or advanced settings. Next to placement is filters. Drop that brightness down a bit, and then don't forget to save it or to add it to your favorites. And here's your favorites right here. This way you don't have to re-edit this texture again so that you have to reapply it. So just right away, if you do any changes to any textures, immediately add it to your favorites, and that way it's available to you. I'm going to drop the opacity down quite a bit, increase the size, and let's change it to where the water is different. And I'm going to start first by just taking that darker texture and putting it right below, right here like this. So you have this darker color at the bottom, and what we're doing is creating, again, a sense of depth. Let's do another one below, right here like this. There we go. All right, so now it's darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. So that way you have it showing that there is some kind of drop. Now you can also make this whole section of water that color as well if you wanted to. Go in right here like this and just make this whole thing a little bit darker, and already it will show some difference right away. It's darker here, lighter up here, so that's kind of nice. The next step is to create mist. Now whenever water is cascading, falling off, it's going to create some kind of spray, some kind of mist, because water has come in contact with itself. There's also wind, and so you're going to expect a lot of mist or spray. So what I like to use, there's actually a mist stamp in your catalog. Just open up your catalog, type in mist. Now this is Fantasy Battlemaps, so you might not find that, but this particular mist stamp is in Fantasy Regional HD. So instead I'll click that one as well. There's the mist. Make sure you put it on layer 5, positive 5, because you want it to impact or have some kind of effect over all the stamps. So if I put it on top, so we're going to create a little bit of mist. Now the taller the waterfall is, the more mist you're going to expect, because it's more pressure, more PSI, more pounds per square inch of water slamming against the body of water below, creating more and more mist. So if you really want to show height next to contrast, more mist stamps. So we'll add another mist stamp on here, put it up a little bit here, and that's pretty much your first waterfall. It's those steps. First, create the 2 rocks in which your waterfall is pinned between. That can include a third rock or as many rocks in between the 2 larger rocks. That's step 1. Step 2, create the fall part. You have the waterfalls, create that part. Second, create momentum, the direction of the river, and that way you know which way the river is flowing. After that, don't forget to create that same flow below, and then add in your snow alpha texture to kind of create rapid or white water. Last, put on your mist, as many mist stamps as you want to create this illusion of impact and depth, as well as the contrast. So now let's go ahead and make one more waterfall. Let's make something a bit different. Same concept. Go ahead and take the rock, and we'll make one more waterfall because it's nice to have two. Maybe it'll be more fun that way. So we'll add in another rock right here. We're going to go over the same process. Let's pick a section we want to put the rock at. Here looks good. Same thing. Put this one here. Okay, that looks good. And you're going to go ahead and take those waterfall stamps that we just did. And let's go ahead and create a belt. Oopsie, and I forgot. We got to make sure that this is below the rocks. And I'm going to put in some smaller rocks too. So let's put this across all the way like this. It's a little straight, so we can churn things around just a little bit. So let's try to rotate a little bit this way, rotate a little bit up, and then move this one up this way. We don't want a perfectly straight line. That looks weird. And we're going to go ahead and put in some smaller rocks. These small rocks works just fine. And make sure that they're a layer above too. And I'm just going to pick a single rock instead of two. And just make sure it's on the layer above, so put it on top. Choose whatever kind of shadow you want for that. Up to you. I'm going to click it and just turn the shadow off. I don't want any shadows on there. Let's put up another one right here. I think that should be okay. And then one more over here. Should look good. There we go. Okay. So you have some rocks there. Same step. Create those waves. I'm really going to make sure that they're kind of impactful and going next to the rocks. Make sure to put it down a layer. There we go. Same thing. Do it again. Below, below. We're going to create one more real quick and then we'll be done. So I tried to make it as quick as possible. Bring it down, creating that flow. Yeah, can't wait to see everyone's waterfalls, by the way. Can't wait to see, hopefully people will make a bunch. Waterfalls are confusing, there's no doubt about it. Like where to start, how do you create the depth, the height, all those things can be confusing. So yeah, it's nice to have a little tutorial on it, how to do it. Now I'll do the next step, the direction of the flow below, where it meets with the body of water below. Okay, we'll put in a couple. I'm not going to add in too many. Details is something you can do for last. So there's some stuff there. Again, go right over to your textures. Recently used, just use this whitewater one again. Make it big. And we're just going to go ahead and apply that like this. And there are many ways to make waterfalls. This is not the only way. But I'm just giving you the easiest method that I came up with. Again, do that. You're going to do that dark texture again, right here at the bottom. Kind of create that sense of depth. There we go. And again, add that mist. And there's so many other details. I don't want to go into too much. Let's add in that mist right here. This looks good. Let's just take a step back and see what we have. We're at 161 changes, so we better be careful. Also, if you feel that these waves are a little too much, you can also drop the opacity on them, or you can add more of your snow texture to it if you feel that would help to kind of blend in this. So if you feel like, that's too much, just blend it in or drop the opacity. Either one works, it's okay. We're going to create some movement as well like this by just doing a couple swipes like this, so you have some movement. Okay, and I think that's it. Let me quickly just save these changes. Let's apply a filter, and then we're going to call it good. A nice, really, really short stream, only about 17 minutes. Because it was so short, I can ask some questions for the next 10 minutes or so, as well as Anthony. Didn't realize that making these backgrounds really makes these streams short. So if you have any questions concerning waterfalls, feel free to ask. I'm going to quickly go add some filters first while people ask some questions, and then we're going to call it good. So I'm going to go add filters real quick. Add new. Filters are really nice. They add things. One go-to for me is always clarity. Let me show you the difference when I turn it off. You can see that it's kind of bright, pops out more. And I think I'm going to try to create this feeling of more blue. So I might even add a blue winter filter just for fun. And yeah, it kind of makes that blue pop out a bit more. And there's all this room right here for your players to run around as well. I definitely recommend creating some room for your players to run around. You can even create some bridges that go across from here, or a log, or a series of like some shallow area right here with some rocks going across. So I'm going to go ahead and check the chat to see if there's any questions about it. So far, I'm not seeing any questions. It seems like this was pretty straightforward. That's pretty much how I make waterfalls. I'll give people a few more minutes to ask questions. I also have a tutorial, or I also have a quick guide, image guide that I made, and I'll make sure to go ahead and post that as well in the description after the video. It's just a quick little image guide that goes over everything I said in this video, but in an image format, so that way you don't have to watch the video, but the video is short, so that's nice. I'm not seeing any questions, so I think this is the shortest stream that we've had so far. Thank you, everybody. I hope you found this useful. Feel free to leave in the comments ideas for future videos. Please click the subscribe button. Don't forget the alert button. We do these streams regularly. Mondays, Discord. Wednesdays, we do the YouTube streams. And then on Thursday, I go ahead and post the Monday Discord stream because it's recorded. Perfect. Awesome. Great. It was clear, concise, and to the point. Well, since there's no questions, I'm going to call it good. Thank you, everybody. I'm really glad that you're here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next stream on YouTube, which is going to be an editor Q&A, and next week's Discord stream is going to be how to create a Valentine's Day map. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and thank you, Anthony, for manning the chat. Have a great day, everybody.